We've all heard that masturbation is completely normal, but to what extent? How many times a day can you do it without being considered addicted? What if you can't stop? Let's answer these questions and explore why you should stop today with this act that seems normal but hides a trap for your life. Before we begin, I'd like to apologize for the exaggerated cover, but I needed to draw your attention to this 21st century issue that weakens and harms both young people and adults, leaving us without willpower. In this video, you'll understand what happens to our brain scientifically and philosophically, and what Stoicism has to teach us about this vice. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss anything. Now let's begin. Modern medicine is clear in stating that masturbation is completely normal, not only in humans, but also evidenced in dogs and other mammals. However, this view of normal masturbation wasn't always the case. In the past, masturbation was thought to be immoral, especially in men, because unproductive seed production was believed to prevent reproduction. For women, it was thought that masturbation could distance them from men by allowing them to find pleasure on their own, without assistance. To this moral burden was added the physical burden, with claims that masturbation caused diseases, making it entirely inadvisable. Return to the present. What do we know about masturbation, especially for men suffering from insomnia? It's known that masturbation induces sleep. The French Institute of Health and Medical Research concluded that the male brain deactivates sexual desire after orgasm. The cerebral cortex, the area responsible for conscious thought, goes to rest once a man reaches climax. This, in addition to nullifying the desire to continue sexual activity, facilitates sleep, which is why many men fall asleep afterward. Reaches climax. This, in addition to nullifying the desire to continue sexual activity, facilitates sleep, which is why many men fall asleep afterward. So what's the problem? Hidden within one of its benefits is a trap. If you frequent this channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. Masturbation releases dopamine in your brain, a hormone responsible for making us feel better, providing calm, relieving stress, and creating a sense of reward. This dopamine release is so pleasurable that some people become addicted. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders incorporated hypersexuality disorder, classifying excessive masturbation under the category of obsessive-compulsive disorder, a vice that leads to mental and familial destruction in many cases. You lose control, becoming a slave to yourself, a victim of lack of control, seeking relationships with prostitutes, sex with multiple people, or, as we saw in a previous video, excessive consumption of pornography. These are ways a dopamine-saturated brain seeks pleasure. Pay attention. Addiction to masturbation stems from chemicals released in the brain. As your brain adapts to these releases, it feels the need to continually find the stimuli that generated the pleasure. Your brain starts demanding more and more dopamine to achieve the same level of pleasure it felt the first time, pushing you to masturbate repeatedly. This reaches an extreme point when your brain realizes the dopamine release is excessive and begins blocking receptors in an attempt to stop you. As a result, the person performs the act but feels no satisfaction, leading to frustration and even more excessive behavior. This is exactly what a smoker, someone who eats chocolate until vomiting, or an alcoholic does. At this point, you might be wondering what Stoicism has to do with this. The Stoics, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, masters of self-control and wisdom, addressed pleasure and lust from a unique perspective. From the words of Epicurus to the intimate thoughts of Seneca, they explored the depths of human passions, leaving a legacy that still captivates us. For the Stoics, masturbation wasn't just a quest for carnal satisfaction, but an opportunity to explore the limits of the body and mind. They saw it as an exercise in self-awareness and a path to true freedom. In their philosophy, mastery over worldly passions and pleasures was a conquest that elevated the human spirit. Epicurus asserted that it's not the pursuit of pleasure but self-control that distinguishes a good man. In this context, the ability to enjoy pleasure while understanding and containing it marks someone who has reached a higher level of self-awareness. Instead of being slaves to our desires, we must be their masters, as Seneca reminds us. Stoic reflection on masturbation isn't about repression, but deep understanding and self-mastery. It translates into the ability to direct our emotions toward a journey of conscious self-exploration. It resides not in momentary satisfaction, but in understanding, accepting, and embracing our deepest inclinations. From the Stoic perspective, every action has consequences, not only for us, but also for the natural order of the universe. When we succumb to our most intense desires, as in the case of uncontrolled masturbation, we lose that harmonious connection with nature, highly valued by the Stoics. We become prisoners of our desires, drifting away from true inner serenity. Compulsive masturbation can trigger an emotional whirlwind where guilt, shame, and dissatisfaction become constant companions. The Stoics teach us to control these intense emotions through introspection and self-regulation. By consciously facing our emotions, we learn to manage them healthily and constructively. The Stoics encourage us to find inner peace within ourselves. True satisfaction lies in self-mastery and the ability to find joy in what is simple and virtuous. Let me share a personal, inspirational story. I know someone who struggled with compulsive masturbation, seeking momentary refuge and pleasure, but facing an emotional storm after each act. By immersing themselves in Stoic teachings and practicing self-control and self-regulation, they underwent a profound transformation. They learned to confront their desires and emotions consciously, finding true joy and self-control. Now, they live a life of inner peace and authenticity, free from the slavery of momentary desires. True satisfaction comes from living in accordance with our deepest principles and values. When we yield to fleeting desires, we lose sight of what we truly value in life. Compulsive masturbation can distance us from our noblest purposes and steer us away from the true happiness found in virtue and inner peace. By practicing meditation and mindfulness, we can promote the mental serenity needed to resist temptations and face our emotions healthily. This compulsion becomes an obstacle to mental serenity, dragging us into regrets and steering us away from the peace found in self-control and moderation. My friend, what are you doing with your life? Do you think sitting at home, watching those videos, and seeking pleasure with your hands can make you confident or successful? Do you think wasting your time and energy on those distractions will attract women, or, if you're a woman, attract men? No, never. So, my friend, think wisely. I want you to write in the comments, I'm a powerful person. I have control over my mind. I choose to do what motivates me. I choose to do what improves me. Thanks for staying with me. You can like the video and subscribe for more.